Hi guys, welcome to part 2 of this week's The Torch. This is your creator, Aura. So I apologize again that I try to do this on Tuesday, but am learning to flow with the universe, and I'm going through my own really deep processing of all of the things going on right now, and I don't mean so much at all Corona, though that adds that element, as much as just my own personal astrology and this evolution of the times, which 2020 the Mayans predicted would be intense. The Leo King has predicted so much. I hope you guys are on high vibe, where the real news is in the Astros. Actually, and that brings me to what I really want to talk about this week, and I'm going to go through the moon really quick and a couple changes, but because it's already Friday, and I feel bad that I hadn't put anything out, and just kind of flowing and filling with what I did want to put, so where to start? So I mentioned the Leo King and High Vibe TV, okay, it's his app, and I've mentioned and tried to promote him a lot because he is a really, really great astrologer that crossed my path via the YouTube in like 2015-ish, I think it was, 2015, I don't believe it was 2014, and he has, in his wisdom of the stars, helped me to really gain awareness in the astrology itself, at the depth that he's able to understand it. And as much as, being a Libra ascendant, it becomes really challenging, I feel. And even reading our own chart, though, you can relate to the energy in your lives and how it's happening. And I'm at Disney, by the way. You want to see the Disneyland sign? Everything is closed. Some beautiful roses over here. So, of course, this butterfly wanted to go see the beautiful roses. I hope you guys take time to smell the roses. It's such a lame, it's not really a lame saying. I just don't like any sayings, right? But it's too trendy. Why are you all saying the same shit? Fucking robots. But yes, take time to smell the roses. Literally, they smell so good. Fragrance itself is such a mystical and beautiful thing. I was crying and processing a lot and allowing myself to, because one, it's silly not to. How else can you clear energy, right? I mean, there's a million ways, right? And that's just how mine comes about a lot. But two, I allowed myself even more, and I will from here on out, because, and this goes into what I was speaking about with David Palmer's, the Leo King's ability to read the stars in the depth that he does, and how accurate it can be in his predictions and in just, the information out on High Vibe. And it's the nodes of the moon, which I can't wait to study more on. It's known as the dragon head and tail. The north node is where we are going as our soul's evolution. I've known all this as I've been reading charts and all of that, but I haven't, like I said in a couple videos ago, really applied what I know to my own life in ways of, basically in ways of the astrology, just barely on the, not really integrating all of the wisdom. Butterfly, hello beautiful butterfly. Oh, she went away. Or he. There she is. He. Chasing butterflies. Don't chase too many distractions. I'll get you. The north node is the soul's evolution. And I just hadn't fully embodied it. And I have so much resonance, and that's where it is. You may not agree with, some astrologers and agree with other ones, or I mean, not even agree, but feel the common energy. And it aligns you to where you can really benefit each other, My North Node, I was saying being a Libra ascendant, it's really tricky because we have the opposite houses with the opposite energy, right? And so I loved that I am able to gain so much knowledge and awareness on my own path from someone who really knows their shit, basically. So for this week's torch, I really want to, as far as the astrology part, I really want to focus on that. I want you guys to know that the north and south nodes of the moon, the dragon's head and tail, are so crucial in our evolution. And with what's pulling you back, being robotic, that will literally, it really will cause death to go back to that south node. That crazy video I did, and I embraced myself as much as I can on my path, and thankfully, like, getting away from everything that has covered my truth, not walking in that north node. But I've always, even no matter the steps of life, been perfectly okay with stating my truth, whatever that is in the moment, and embracing that vulnerability. I value that so much. I don't know what you value or if you've even thought of it in life, but I value more than anything the light, the truth. The dark tries to cover that truth and that light that gives life, right? And awareness is light. So the north node is where our soul's evolving. It's where the light in us really gets to fully express. I feel too. I feel it's very much connected. Your soul's evolving. And in that, for myself, I was speaking about crying a while ago. It's a 20. So you have two nodes, the north and south, but you also, basically end up having like four. Yeah, because you have the true node and then you have a mean or average, right, node. And same for the north and south. The south node is what's comfortable because it's what we've done in past lives. I'm going to study so much more into this because now I just see how fucking pronounced it is. And David Palmer is also really hitting on that subject right now, which I love, and he's going through his nodal return, right? So we're born with a set energy, just like your sun sign and moon sign and Mars and Jupiter and where everything is. And the nodes of the moon, I'm not even sure. I know that they're like points. They're not actual entities, but dude, the significance of these, that, I don't know if you guys caught a video I did, but it was on, it was a very, it was on dark energy being able to bring you to light. And like, that's the hard way to go. You can like literally just choose the light. And I've debated, this is how I got on being truthful and vulnerable. Thanks for being able to follow my butterflyness. The nodes are in Gemini right now. Dang it, what was it? Truth, and golly, I hope you guys are doing well. Focus. The nodes of the moon, I don't know, but Vedic astrology, it's Rahu and Ketu. Oh, the dark, I think of it as a dark video because that's what it was. I debated so many times of like deleting it, but that is just not me. Like, I took all my videos off of YouTube after moving to California, and I'm like, damn, everybody's so fucking perfect on all their shit, and mine's looking jacked up, like, and so I did not want to delete them because I'm not going to deny myself like that. But, oh, there's two butterflies. It's so cute. It's so pretty. Can you see them? They're way over there. You probably can't see them. That's cool. You usually see them by themselves. That was really pretty. It's really sweet. I like to watch the birds, and I'm not like a bird watcher, but I guess I am a bird watcher in a spiritual way. There they are. They're still like going together. And then to think that we're actually influencing our own realities and what we focus on, what we think about. So that's cool. So yeah, the dark video I did was, I don't remember what I titled it, but basically, yes, you can, of course, God will use one of your angels, guides, source itself, as you call out, to save you. What are the repercussions that come after needing that saving of walking through that darkness? Whatever that darkness is, and darkness can just be like not having the awareness of something, okay? And so anyway, this north and south node thing, the south node for me really pulled me off my path for like 20 years, and no matter what I did, no matter what I fucking did, it would just not work out, and it was such a challenge. And this is going to become, because it's 20 years of my life. This is going to become the fuel that drives my astrology business, to give you guys this wisdom, because right now the astrology is hitting me personally so strong in so many different ways. Like, I know you guys probably don't even care to hear about all my shit, but like the child's asteroid, which is really neat, I find neat. It's similar to the moon in that it's like a childlike part of ourselves, is in Sagittarius. Well, for me, and Sagittarius is where we have the South Node right now. Okay, South Node is not where we want to go. It's where we get stuck. If you think of the nodes as evolving and progressing, that's where we get stuck. I remember in 2014 having this, about this time I had gone through child custody court in 2011 and 2012. 2014, my oldest daughter's father was shot by a police officer. I'm just going to throw in there, and I'm sorry about the offensive, but he was white. Black Lives Matter, yes, and it needs such great influence right now, but I want us to remember all lives matter, and we'll do some other videos on stuff like that, on why these systems, basically these systems are getting broken down and rebuilt, and we have to remember that every cop, every individual is just that. They're an individual, and why are they acting in the way they are? Why are our cops doing the things they're doing, individually, not to be like, all cops, all black people, all white chicks, like, I'll put my glasses back on. Sorry, you can see my tablet. So I'm just dedicating myself to even more, to obviously becoming more whole in my own path. But I hope that you guys can appreciate what I'm offering you, which is truth and vulnerability, because that's what I value. I have lived, we have all, I guess, depending on, a lot of things. But what I've experienced in this reality is a lot of fakery the past 30 years, a lot of fraud stuff. And I get on board with it like really quick with that Libra stuff. Like, oh, it's all good. Oh, it's okay. Da, da, da. Like, I just want to be happy, and, like, slow down, take a breath. I was crying so much just now because on my bus ride back from, where did I go? The town was not, the street, which is weird, it was Tampa Avenue, and I've been debating, knowing that I at some point want to go to Tampa, Florida, because the astrology hits my ley lines very well there, but it'll all be timing, And I find it really interesting that I went for a job, not a job, but like a gig, just like a 1 day a week gig, for something that I like, It had to do with children, but there were things I didn't like about it, so it wasn't really manifesting what I want. And it was so frustrating on Venus Direct to, oh my gosh, take my bike and ride 102 buses and spend my whole day it's, filling the body and knowing where to be and then directing ourselves of what we want. I'm not mastered at that yet, and I don't know if you are, but shit can get wild. So anyway, In that process, you know, I learned a lot of things, and that's the thing. Wherever we're at, whatever happens, we can just learn as we go. But we definitely don't want to fall back to what's comfortable. We have to be comfort. We have to being comfortable to keep a good vibe is a good thing. This is why it's so important to know the nodes. Being comfortable because it's what you're good at and what you've done in so many past lives. And so that's the South Node, is you're not progressing because you've mastered this certain energy in past lives and you're supposed to do this other thing. And they're always opposites, okay? But it is like a puzzle, astrology. So it's, sorry if it's loud. It's, you know, figuring out the signs, and the houses matter so much. Your birth time matters so much. Please get that. So yes, make yourself comfortable, but not where it's detrimental to your path, right? And so there's, as we tune into our bodies, there's signs and signals and sensations that can say go here or go there. But it can get a little tricky and delusional sometimes if you don't know where you're going, if you don't have a sight, and if it's not strong. Like if you're questioning it all day, that is where the South Node is right now. So we have a birth one, and then we have something going on right now all the time, you know. And this one's 18, they're all 18 months, right? And it just started. So we got about a year and a half with Gemini and Sagittarius. Okay? So one, please know your natal one. I'm going to put together a reading, and, you know, all day, every day I can give, you know, I want to give free information and free this and that. And I want to make that probably a free one too. But at the same time, I'm trying to afford Orange County rent. I'll be honest, you know, like, and that's Gemini, the North Node. It's being very logical. Okay. And so there's a lot happening at once, but using astrology as a guide, starting with your basic stuff, and I would say, like, especially the nodes. That video I did on the dark can also bring you to light, basically. I literally thought I was going to die. Not thought I was, could feel that I was going to die. And it was when the split of the worlds was starting to happen. And falling back to the South Node, it's where basically you miss your soul's purpose. Oh yeah, I was saying I'll allow myself to cry more, even on camera, I guess, since I love to share info and help. And nurture myself more, and mother myself more, and protect my tribe, and because that's part of my North Node. I was saying we have a true node, which is the exact point, and we have a mean node or average. And the mean node for me personally is 29 degrees Cancer. That's an emotional motherfucker. Like, I don't know what. Literally, the goddess of the moon. Like, when people are like, oh, I'm on a cusp, like, cusp don't actually exist in how I interpret astrology. If you interpret it that way, kudos to you and all the things, because no one way is ever the way. Swear to you. But that's why it's fun for me to learn things like that have patterns and that we can study, you know, and feel. That's what I love so much about astrology. Like, you can feel the energy as you link to it, you know, and then you can discover it from history and from reading charts and its patterns. And to each his own always, because that's what another thing shows you in astrology is which, like, I fucking have been able to know this, like, from day one, though I fell into the sheep robotic bullshit because I was falling into my South Node. For me, my South Node is in the 4th house of being a mom. So that's how real this shit gets, you know? when you look at situations where you feel so innocent because of whatever and so good at whatever the job was or whatever the thing is, like it comes so natural, but it's not working out, South Node. Swear. Gotta be. What else? And so right now, for you guys, the North Node is in Gemini for all of us, okay? We have to be logical, communicate. It may have to do with siblings. It's the mutable air sign, okay? So it's very much like adapting to ideas and taking and gaining knowledge from all these sources. And then it has, and this is from the Leo King, this part of it being a local thing, which makes sense because I like to understand astrology as well through the opposite sign. It just helps to really like take in so that we're not trapping these belief systems to just a few like descriptions that have been passed down, right? I mean, because we're always, I don't know, depends on the person, but I'm always like, okay, well, that's cool. I hear you. Let me feel it. Let me see it, let me discover it myself. Let me walk over here in the shade. And so, so local, and so the opposite is Sag. Well, Sag rules like foreign places. It rules the guru. And I'm not saying to not be a guru on your spiritual path. If that's your truth, if that is your divinely genuine, authentic self, which the North Node will also bring you to that. What is your soul doing this life? What are you here for, basically? The moon is deceptive. It's beautiful in that it's emotions, and it's beautiful to gaze up at as our goddess. But there's a deceptions to emotions, Emotions are just energy in motion. I think White Tribe for that lovely phrase. And actually, I feel as though I also heard that. People must use it just all the time, but I think I also heard that from High Vibe with Sarah Posh. Sarah Posh's video on shadow work, the Lightworkers School. Anyway, so yeah, if we think of emotions, because they're always changing, that's why the full moon gained the term lunatic, right? And it has its stages, the moon, and it rules the ocean, the sea, it rules the waters. We're made of water. It rules our emotions, not the feeling that I'm talking about in the body, right? Because the body is a beautiful, magical, wonderful instrument that when it's all connected, which I'm still learning to clear the chakras and all this and that, you get these light sensations and, coming from your truth, which is a place of integrity. And it's what hasn't been covered up by going to the South Node, by conforming to the things that we're told, by looking anywhere outside of that childlike heart, that childlike innocence and bliss that, of who we are. And so right now, again, going back to the nodes for all of us are Gemini and Sag, North Node and Gemini. Never mind. I was thinking it like for your personal chart, just because the thought came back in my head. There is a true node and there is a mean node. And sometimes they're in the same sign, makes it super easy. For me, they're split, 29 degrees Cancer. So there will be times where I will be like more embracing that emotional side and that nurturing, caring side. And then it's 0 degree Leo at the true node. And that's where, as I go towards that fun, inspiring, fiery fucking lion that I love so much because my Mars is there too. Thank God for the Mars though to drive me there. So it's please, if you feel stagnant and stuck like I did in 2014, please get a natal chart reading, learn where your nodes are, and go towards that node. Because as I evolve, as you evolve, as we evolve on our path, the light gets greater, and we evolve as a human species. And so yeah, I guess that's really what I want to say. Don't be too much of a guru right now, that you're not looking at the logical local things. That was really the awareness that the Leo King brought to me, was the local, or brought to all of us, especially if you're on the High Vibe TV, but that it's a local thing. There's a need to look at the local things we're doing, the details of our local environment, you know. Are you traveling inward to discover more of yourself? Because whatever is going on within you is what's reflecting outside of you. And so it's really cool to learn this stuff, and really beneficial. Sagittarius is foreign lands, foreign affairs. It's high away places. Oh. I was going to try to catch that bus. I'll just keep going with you guys. And so I'm going to show y'all how I'm rolling here. Plus a backpack. And I didn't even use half the shit I brought for my little journey that didn't even work out. And I keep bringing all these things instead of really going with that Gemini and going within and discovering in meditation and breathing what in my local environment I can change. You know, it's very fun and free too. We have to remember that Gemini is very fun and free. But if you're falling into the delusions of the guru, there's something far away, because Sagittarius rules foreign lands and far away places, then that's just going to, I'm telling you, it is not to be taken lightly. It not only does your soul not progress, I'm gonna get over here by some shade and flowers and away more from the thing. Not only does your soul not progress with that south node, but you again, it's like it literally sucks the life out of you, because it's your divinity, it's your purpose. You've been giving that life inside you, that energy, to fulfill a purpose, whether you want to look at that or not. And I think we know this coming in, and it's very easily lost with societal programming, conditioning. For me, for it being motherhood, I naturally never at any point in my upbringing did I think I don't want to be a mom. Never. Absolutely not. I knew I wanted to be a mom very early on. So it's interesting. But then you look at my, north node at 29 degrees Cancer in the 10th house of building. I'll build something where I nurture and care for myself and then others to be able to take part of, and that building can just be right here of truth. It gets interesting. But yes, right now, don't fall into traps of thinking that you need to go far away to a foreign place. Because Sagittarius rules foreign lands, it rules the guru, it's beautiful. It's not that it's not beautiful. The nodes change, astrology changes, there's beauty in all of the signs. Obviously, it's energy. And there's negatives to all of the signs, because that's the duplicity 3D world that we've been in. So right now, go towards your local environment And what is your true home? If you're struggling with home and all of that, like, you got to realize that your true home is your body. And why are you spending so much time cleaning the house, doing the laundry, and everything else, which I hope you do, and that's important, when this house is your vessel, is your true house. It's your true embodiment of your soul. It's your true home, you know? In my trip to Tarzana, I believe was the city. I don't know. There was awareness that was brought to me of, you know, the corona stuff, which I don't like to talk about much, and seeing everybody with a mask on. I was able to wear my no mask the whole time. You know, I have one with me if I'm asked to, but I'm not going to willingly give my freedom away to propaganda and be convinced that my body can't take care of itself, that I don't have a divine fated time that I should die. And I'm not saying to go overboard and not take precautions, but I'm not going to listen to a fucked up system. No. I'm going to listen to at least systems that come from integrity. That's all I ask for. Come from integrity. This is all false, fake bullshit to me. Now, to some people, it's the truth, and sadly, those, you know, I don't wish it on anyone because it is bullshit, but those that believe it, that's what you'll get. That's how life works. What we believe is what we get if it's in our, again, if it's on our path of fate. So don't let the programming be a path of your fate. Whoa. And please don't fall victim to the South Node in your own personal chart. I gotta grab some water. That's another thing I'll touch on. The awareness of being able to find restrooms if you're traveling somewhere new because of Coronaville. Restrooms, water. Over here in Disney, there's an IHOP across the street, a Captain Kids buffet. Let's see if you can see it. And I was out of water. And they're closed. I was like, let me just go see if I can get some water. I'm thirsty. There's, you know, the water fountains are like blocked off, taped off. The restrooms are taped off. Like, okay, let's think about what this system is that people are trusting, telling us that our health is at stake. Oh no, cover your mouth. Okay, let me tell you what I'm discovering is that air and water are life. When you meditate, it's not just to clear your mind, it's to get oxygen, it's to get fresh air. And for them to even, like, you know, that's just one aspect, right? So we'll just say that. Less oxygen. If they're so concerned about health, why are we not allowed to go to the restroom to release toxins? Why then are the water fountains closed when our bodies require water to hydrate? There are some malefic entities and energies at play, breaking down all for the divine purpose of bringing in this age of Aquarius. But in that, there's destruction, right? And Pluto is in Capricorn, and it has been since 2008, I believe, breaking down these structures. And eventually, what does Pluto do? It transforms it to the light. It's not comfortable, though. It's not comfortable. And yeah. I hope that you're not falling victim, like all of these people I'm seeing, to trusting this corrupt system. I mean, like, to me, it's obvious, like, I mean, when have we ever been able to trust the fucking news and politics that are not coming from a place of integrity? And I can't wait, because I hope that's what I mean, that's what's happening is leaders are rising up from integrity for themselves. So be the leader for yourself. Lead your own home first of your vessel and come from a place of integrity. And maybe that's a debatable word as well. Integrity for me is like coming from truth, no matter what that looks like. Truth is definitely not like the most beautiful thing. Society would tell me, oh wow, I mean they did tell me, they've always told, oh, you're going to California and you're leaving your kids. Like, no, a fucking system got involved and my exes are crazy, and of course this is the things I say, but I mean, I don't want to talk shit about them, but it was all divine is the point, and that's truth. What is divine? We're not here to understand other people's stories. We're not here to get approval of anyone's or anyone approving our story, you know what I mean? But there's something really beautiful at play and magical in this natural thing called Earth. And you find that as you connect back to your truth. And having integrity to me is just connecting back to your truth. And it's going to be a process of uncovering the mental traps and stories of, I don't know, the easiest one for me to pull in the moment is like, oh, I'm in love with that person. Maybe you're drawn to them because you're here to play important roles in each other's life. Maybe that kind of love that we have been taught is a lot different. Maybe it's more intimate than that. Maybe we're not supposed to be with one person for the whole rest of our lives. Maybe we are. It's a lot of different things. But what I would like to really get you to do is please give the stars, the planets that are energetically influencing us. You don't believe me? Don't. I'm not here to, there's a certain amount of people on the planet that are not supposed to awaken to astrology. Why? Because they're probably the ones fucking that are meant to fucking do the destruction part. And maybe they are awakened to it and also that. Either way, freedom all the time. That is what a free world is. Embracing, hey, I got this and I think it's super fucking valuable and I want to give it to you. But if you don't want it, I'm not trying to fucking waste my energy like I've done in the past of like giving readings and stuff like that to people that don't value it, right? And so if you're here and you value the wisdom, I encourage you to know your north node, to know where the nodes are currently, and to more and more understand yourself through the way of astrology. And I think it's a good time to say bye. I love you guys. I'm going to go ahead and venture to a new place. And, or maybe, I don't know. But have a good one. And, no, I changed my mind again. I'm not going to say bye. I changed my mind. I just found a new place. I'm like trying to decide what I want to do and da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, no, I need to go back home first. There's some things I need and I'm going to drop all this shit off. And I want to tell you guys that about this week, right? So this week we've had, the moon was in Leo, which is such a fun, playful sign. I think that was like Monday, Tuesday, or Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah, it was Tuesday, Wednesday, and like early morning Thursday. And then we had the moon in Cancer. Wait, no, Virgo. That's right, Virgo. Sorry, Cancer was before. It was this past weekend. And Virgo, which is my sun sign, Virgo is a mutable earth. And so they're adaptable. They're very analytical. The moon is in Virgo right now. God, those sounds are so loud. Like, that is a bus across the street with this insane whistle. Jesus. Virgo is here of service, very much connected to earth, and she rules the maiden. There's a purity to Virgo, and in that purity, she brings an awareness to, as a service, to adapt to what's going on around in the earthly environment, in the here and now, the practical world, to make things better. A lot of people like to think of them, in the ways of cleaning and things like that, because they worry about details. It really depends. Like, I mean, when I clean, I'll do a really good job, but it's not something that I want to do all the time or like to do all the time and stuff like that. But I've got a stellium of planets in another sign, so that might be why too. So we're more than just the one sign, you know. But they're definitely detailed oriented and concerned with health and our everyday task and chores. And so that's where the moon is yesterday and today, and a portion of tomorrow, I believe. From there, we'll go into a moon in Libra. And Mars, let me back up. Mars is on the last degrees of Pisces, and that is passing either today, because it's going slow, so it's going to be today or tomorrow. I need to double check, because things were just taking so much time, you know. Sometimes it's hard for me to keep my tablet charged when I'm traveling, and or find Wi-Fi to be able to post. So I thank you for your patience with all of that. And once Mars moves from the watery last degrees of Pisces, it's going to move into its home, in Aries. And well, I missed another bell. I guess it's not my time. I better start paying attention. I'm sorry I keep trying to leave you guys. Anyways, Aries, Mars in Aries it's at home in Aries, and so it's a warrior, and pisses me off that he just kind of waved me like that. I mean, he was already kind of starting to drive off, but it's because I have the bike and I have to load it on there. It's all good. So Mars in Aries, it's its home sign, so it likes it. Oh my God. But we're finishing up Mars in Pisces, which is like the warrior in the spiritual world, the warrior in the subconscious mind, the warrior who's filling out the energy, who's in a very watery, sometimes delusional place, because it rules mental health there. Spiritual things are not concrete like Virgo for us to be able to touch and feel like real physical like, right? So I like the part of the warrior in the spiritual world as, like, you know, that's really a lot, I feel, of what all this change is. Spiritual is a lot of things, but if we're not connected to our own planet, to our home, to our own home of our bodies, I mean, that's a beautiful spiritual experience in itself. We've been given life. We've been given the soul within us to embrace all that we are and all that we're around, and everything else has just been built, and these structures that have been built, like you're witnessing, are being broken down. And so please reconnect to yourself, to your body, reconnect to your to the earth, to our natural home. But that's a beautiful way that I see the Mars in Pisces. It can bring some heavy emotions because the last degrees of signs are very emotional, of water signs are very emotional. The last degrees of any signs are very intense, as well as the beginning degrees. The beginning degrees are like very bright, brand new. And so yeah. What else? So then the moon will go into Libra and be there for 2.5 days. So by about Tuesday is when it'll change again. Libra moons are, a lot of mental ideas and energy having to do with relationships. It can be, it can honestly go either way. There can be a lot of highs and lows as it's an energy that rules the balance beam. And that Venus ruled energy is that we find in Libra likes to be able to relate to everyone. It does relate to everyone. And in that relating, it can get out of balance and lost as it's able to, as the judge of the zodiac, it's able to relate to all flavors, all personalities and relationships. So you can find yourself, it also, Libra energy is very like a social butterfly, very like communicative, kind of Gemini-like. So with the North Node in Gemini and with that Libra moon, we can be very like social butterfly-ish. And so it should be very fun and upbeat. Air signs, coming from a Virgo moon, the moon in Virgo. We had the moon in Leo, which was fiery and stimulated, and then we had the moon in Virgo, or have it now on Friday. The moon in Virgo, which it came yesterday, is Earth, and so that's more stable and grounded. And tomorrow it will be in Libra, and that's very... it's masculine energy, so it's very, upbeat, and very upbeat and stimulated, and very much can feel like a fresh breath of air, coming from such grounded stuff. It's very peaceful and beautiful and desires love and beauty all around it, very aesthetic. And Taurus rules it, which is very sensual as well. And when it's balanced like that, it's beautiful. So it just depends on the space that you are in as well, because it can be very codependent in all of these things that make it top out of balance. And then by Tuesday, I believe, the moon will go into Scorpio. So Scorpio moons are going very deep. And just looking at the June bug. June bug. That's so funny I said that. There's a lot of June bugs in Texas. No. What is that called? Oh, a beetle. It's a beetle flying. So the moon in Scorpio is going to be very watery. It should be very intense next week is what I'm hearing from the Leo King on High Vibe TV. And... if you'd like to know more and to go into aspects and all that thing, there's a lot of astrologers that do that. I do not. I feel like there's so much, I guess because I feel the energy so strongly. And that's a big part of me being in California, of how my ley lines hit, I believe too. Just, a lot of things, but I like the feeling of the energies, and I feel them strongly. And I feel like just being the bridge and connecting you guys to that much is a lot. And then if you want to go more deeper, the Leo King is a really great one. That's literally, his knowledge has saved my life. His teacher, Christopher Witecki, I like to watch his Namaste Today. I feel it rings true as well. We all have our different purposes, like of how we bring this tool and this beautiful light of astrology to you guys. You know what I mean? There's Nadia Shaw, the Wonder Girl. There's so many like really good people. My Christina Martin is one that I was able to take a school from, and I love her art, and she's just a beautiful spirit. And she's a badass. She's cool. She's doing music now. And I've been doing some music too. I've been like having these kind of weird poetry, like da 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 songs in my head. But actually yesterday on my bus ride, I was like, okay, well, this fucking day has gotten crazy uncomfortable because you're on buses a lot, you know, when I just like to be in nature and in pretty places. And so I was like, you know, observing every single person with a mask on. And I'm just like, this is not it. And I take my little bongo or whatever the little drum thing is called, and I start kind of beating on it, and then just kind of singing softly to myself, because I don't think I can sing. I'm just kind of playing around with it as I feel led, and trying more and more just tuning in with what I feel, and chasing that north node, or going towards it, really. And my song became I wish I could sing better, but I'll do it. I'll maybe record myself later. I'm not gonna do it right now. I almost did, but it was like, take off those masks, please. You know, and yeah. It was, take off those masks, please, and you're risking my freedom. It was cool. I'll try to sing one later and record it. I'm on spot. That Virgo sun likes to get a little shy. Or the Libra's like, oh, I care what I look like. But it was neat to sit there and sing, and even just to myself, because like, I don't want to sound so silly, you know. I just like started doing this, but the whole point of music is to bring people together and to inspire them. It's the whole point of art too. Check out my art page. I'm gonna post more. There's only one little thing I did the other day that looked really kind of weird. But it's black_edge art on IG. And then I have a Facebook page that I've uploaded Black Edge art, other art, but not a lot, nothing crazy. But the whole point of me ever doing any of that creative stuff becomes to inspire. And it was heartbreaking, and is heartbreaking to have to go out and see the state of the world and to face it for what it is, and to see everyone wearing the mask. And it was just a beautiful way to, I could tell by looks and stuff that people were observing me, and I'd get worried looks too, which was weird. But it was just like a little, take off the mask, please. That's my, I can't remember word for word. That's my freedom. Take off that mask, please. It's not helping anyone. Don't you see it? It's our freedom at stake. Oh, won't you take off that mask, please? And stand up for rights. Like, I don't remember the words, but that was the kind of like beat. Yeah, so I'm excited to make music and to make it in that way of inspiring for these, oh my God, my legs, inspiring for these like changes, you know, that inspiring for people to fucking claim the freedom that this age of Aquarius is bringing, you know. So take off those masks, please. You're not helping anyone. Take off those masks, please, unless it's your truth. Wear it if you do. But it's our children, it's our freedom, you know. So in the astrology, what else we got going on is Venus went direct yesterday. Ooh, Venus direct, yay! I kind of got in a weird space because like, oh, Venus is direct, and blessings came, of course. And it's so important to observe all of the blessings and to even write down what you're experiencing right now, because no matter at what stage you're at, I think it's actually a really great idea to do writing and communicating. That's the North Node in Gemini right now, and especially in these insane times where we're changing and bringing in a new world. Like, write about your experience. Write about it. Look how beautiful. Oh! They're so beautiful. Write about your experiences of all the magic that you're experiencing and seeing. And I gotta sit down with my legs stretched. I wanted to give y'all some pretty background. Yeah, because there's magic and blessings all over. And I've been cursing my bike honestly the past 2 days because I'm having to lift it on this bus, and it's a bitch. It's like a cruiser, and it's heavy, and I've gotten 3 compliments just this morning on the bike, and I'm like, well, thank you guys so much for bringing me back to being grateful for it, because it's a huge blessing. It was given to me by John at the Crossing Church, which helps homeless people to have a place to store their things. They also do a breakfast and have a huge amount of volunteers on Saturday mornings. A lot of this stuff is enabling to a lot of people that are on crazy drugs and not doing anything with their lives. And I've given my opinion in other videos about drugs. It's to each his own always, but if you're doing something that is killing your path and not helping your path, that's your choice. And sometimes we don't even know we're doing that because it might feel right, though it's showing us that it's wrong. So please, again, check out your South Node and North Node. Rahu Ketu, it's the dragon. I can't wait to dig deeper into it, but more than anything, I can't wait to chase the North Node. 20 years on the South Node, in which it's been a beautiful experience, of course, because I became a mom, so there's a beautiful part of it. I became a mom to 3 beautiful children, and I will always have them. And, but the awareness of the karma and the impact I had on other people's lives in a negative way. That's what brings me to tears today about it, which brings me to the why. And we have to connect with our truth and the why we want to do anything. And it's not my fault in a sense, though I have to take that responsibility, because people can be in alignment with their truth, not even knowing astrology, but it is a great way to get there. What bus is that? I don't think that's the one. And so sorry, I keep worrying about going instead of just focusing on this wonderfulness. This is one of the highlights of my day, is being able to spread this stuff to you guys. The South Node, yes, it gets us off our paths, and we're here to connect and to teach each other. And just imagine, I walk away from this, just imagine how much we're here to impact each other. And imagine when we're going into the South Node, how negatively that can affect the people that, what if we were on our North Node? How would that look like? Did that negatively influence that tribe or that person? It's a lot. It's a lot to take in. And, that's what I was saying, is not to feel guilty, but this is how, connecting it, but taking responsibility for it, because it's awareness. And then understanding that the reason that is because I didn't know. I didn't know astrology. Why didn't I know astrology? Because, well, from my perception at this moment in time, for me, it's a fucking education system. Seriously. And some people learned from friends and family and this sort of thing, and that could have came in my reality that way. But I definitely would like to see it in our education systems. I want to see, and this right here is an education system. YouTube is an education tool. The awareness just should be spread as early as possible to 2 children and all of that. And I guess, I kind of, I remember in junior high or high school, I think it was high school, really feeling like a strong pull towards Nostradamus, which was an astrologer and world predictor or whatever. And I didn't chase it. So know that South Node is really trying to pull you back into comforts that you've already, like I said earlier, that you've already mastered in past lives. So this is a new thing you go towards. This is how we progress. It's a new start. It's a new, cycles have ended and this is a new one this life. You know what I mean? And it's a cool way to know. Don't get lost in searching for that either. Well, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. Get your natal chart, get a reading, at least get your natal chart. Find it with your birth time. I have the Astrology Trinity reading, that's free, where I go in your sun, moon, and ascendant. And I'm probably going to do a nodal one for, reading for really cheap as an add-on to that reading or something like that. I mean, because like I said earlier, I want to just give away the wisdom, but Orange County rent, man. So I love you guys so much. And if you get your own chart, you can try to piece it out, but don't get lost in where the node is now and searching. And where is it? Where is it? It's right here, your local environment, and what you're learning, what you're gathering right here. Okay. And staying busy and having fun. All right. Getting on this bus. Love you guys. Bye.